Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our latest edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Live Feed Spoilers. The veto ceremony is done. We got the aftermath of it. We got what's going on in this house. We will see if any interesting moves are made between now and the eviction show on Thursday. I sure hope so. Like, this morning's feeds were pretty actually entertaining, and I need more of that craziness and paranoia in my life. We will take you through what we know right now. I think there's a couple of interesting strategic discussions to be had.
Yep.
Before we get any further into it, if you guys enjoy this video, subscribe, give us a like, hit that notification bell, and support us more by checking those links to the store as well as our Patreon.
And you guys might be wondering why we have a video that's popping up right before the episode's coming up.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because since it has moved from Sundays to Mondays, it is now up against Dancing with the Stars. And we love Dancing with the Stars, so we are going to be covering that tonight.
We will talk more about the episode of Big Brother tonight, tomorrow when
Yep.
we do our first live feed update. I'm not expecting anything like too huge or revelatory there, so
Yeah.
just so you guys kind of have a heads up. But let's get into these veto ceremony results, because what happened?
All right, so nothing happened. Nicole decided not to use the veto, which is not surprising to anyone. And, you know, we were kind of curious if Christmas was going to freak out or whatever, because she did really try to get her to use that veto beforehand, and Nicole wasn't really making her feel all that great about anything. But Christmas has handled it pretty well.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, actually. Well, I mean, for her game, sure, it's good, but
It is.
I wanted some real fireworks out of this. Like, I thought we were going to see, like, Christmas legitimately, like, upset or something. Memphis was going to be fine. I mean, the dude was basically just like, it's fine if I'm on the block, because Cody and Enzo will save me.
Yep, that's what he thinks.
For some delusional reason. But this is the thing. Like, that's probably the only thing I'm really interested to know is, does Memphis actually believe this nonsense, or is he just being like, I need to make everyone feel like I believe in them. That way they will believe and keep it. Now I'm starting to like sound like Memphis is a preacher or something. But like, maybe that is what he's doing. Maybe he's just psyching himself up.
I don't know, but the fact that he's kind of acting like this, like he kind of has it in the bag, he's really feeling confident about everything, I'd be worried if I was Nicole. I mean, why is he feeling that good? You've got Cody and Enzo are both like voting, so like, why are you feeling that good about them? He should be acting at least a little more worried than he is.
Probably so. And you know, with Christmas, her response to this, like we said, is a little bit better than I expected. I guess the only like slight degree of passive aggressiveness we're getting out of her is her saying to Memphis that she's not going to campaign, she doesn't want to, she thinks that the vote's already settled, and it's like, in theory, she's probably right, though I don't think it's necessarily 100% yet.
No, it's never a good idea to just stop campaigning. It is only Monday. There is time to change things. However, I wonder if this is just part of her game, is that she's trying to sort of, I guess, make Memphis feel like, oh, I'm not going to be, she's not going to be campaigning, she's not going to be doing anything like that, because maybe she feels somewhat okay with Nicole, because they have sort of said that they know that they need to take each other to the end. So even though Nicole's not voting, she probably feels that Nicole has some sway here.
24 hours. That is how long I give Christmas before she starts to campaign almost every living second of the day, which, by the way, this is a great question for all of you. How long do you think it's going to take before Christmas starts driving Enzo and Cody completely up the wall with the votes this coming week?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's coming, and that is coming fairly fast.
Yes.
It's just not happening yet today. So everybody is kind of just retreating a little bit. You know, the backyard is open. They're trying to get some time out there so that we can watch, I guess, Memphis and Christmas be weird or whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing. I know everyone is saying, that they're like an old married couple and they're weirdly flirting, and who knows what's going on with those crazy kids.
We've already gone down this rabbit hole with these two, probably more than any healthy people should, so...
One of them is leaving in a couple days, so whatever this is going to be squashed by the end of this, unless it's outside the house, and no live feeds for that, guys, so you're welcome.
their business at that point. We don't have to deal with it anymore.
So who is going to be going? Cody has told Nicole again that he's evicting Memphis, and that is who Nicole also wants. But we do know that Enzo wants out Christmas.
This is where things will be interesting over the next little while, because I think everything is going to be a game of subtlety, because we've seen this already on this season of Big Brother Scared Stars, where people are so afraid to stick their neck out for anything that they will try to do a little dance delicately around any subject. I expect Enzo is going to try to plant some various seeds about Christmas and Memphis, Christmas and Nicole working together to try to convince Cody to join him. I'm sure vice versa is probably going to happen as well. That's sort of where I just think it's going to go. I think ultimately what's going to be in Cody's head is I think he's just more worried about Memphis and competitions than he is Christmas. And that's really the deciding factor more than pleasing Nicole.
Yes, it's true. But I mean, Nicole, this is the thing about Nicole. She is on Memphis right now, that he's the person that's got to go. But Christmas is still irritating her, irritating everyone in the house. And she's upset with Christmas because Christmas has been saying that everyone would want to keep Nicole around till the final three, kind of making it feel like Nicole's just a goat that's being brought to the end to lose.
This is the funniest thing about all of this, is that both Christmas and Memphis are on the block. Both of them continue to just routinely disrespect Nicole's game to her face.
Yes.
Like, Memphis did that thing where he was just basically like, you've played this game, you've won this game, I might be better off sitting in the end against you than Christmas.
Yes, and he's offered her a final three. Like, that gets you anywhere. It's like, Memphis, then who's your number one then? Like, you're giving me number three? Like, there's only 5 people here.
It is funny seeing Nicole get so worked up just by these two and their nonsense, but ultimately, Nicole, as much fun as I may have with her being like super paranoid and irrationally angry about things at times, I think in the end she does have a game player's brain, and I think unless Christmas like goes to like a new level of Christmas that we have not seen in the house yet, I think it's going to take a lot for Nicole to realize that, I need to get rid of Christmas right now, because she knows the worse Christmas gets, the better it is for her at the end of the game if she can drag her there.
Yeah. Getting rid of Memphis is the best move for Nicole, because Christmas feels that she can beat Nicole, so she would probably take her to the end. Cody has told Nicole that he's taking her to the final 2. So, yeah, she's probably not going to win against Cody, but she would be in the final 2 to actually make an argument for it.
That has been the big question I've thought a lot about over this past day or so, as Christmas has kept bringing up this, why don't you put up Cody as on the block? This is the one chance to get him out. It is like, why? Well, if you're Nicole, why would you want Cody at the final 3? Because yes, he will take you to the final 2.
Yes.
But you're not going to win against Cody. At least I don't think so.
I think that Nicole, this is my theory, is that Cody is the one person who is for sure going to take Nicole to the final 2. So at least she knows, I might not have a chance to beat him, but if I'm sitting in that final 2, I have the jury's ear, and if I can make a good enough argument, maybe they'll give it to me. If she wins the final HOH, she can just clip Cody then, and she will, because we've seen her already do that to Ian, who was also a friend of hers. So I think keeping Cody around for Nicole is the best move for her. Not necessarily to win the game, but to at least get to the final 2, or if she wins that HOH, be the one that wins the game if she just cuts him, and she will. So that is why I think she's so hesitant, because she doesn't really have anything going on with Enzo. She has nothing going on with Memphis. Final 3 with Memphis.
Something she doesn't even want.
Yeah, and then this alliance with Christmas is shaky at best. It's thin.
Yeah, like that's the thinnest of thin ice. I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, what if this is Enzo and Nicole and Christmas in the final 3. Yeah, I think Christmas probably could take Nicole. Nicole could probably take Christmas, but Enzo probably cuts Nicole at final 3, and rightfully so. He beats Christmas, I think, 100 times out of 100 at the end of all of it. And this is the thing, is that, like, I think it's a risky move, obviously, to take Cody to the end, but as much as Nicole may frustrate me, $50,000 was what I think you get that if you finish in second place. That is a lot of money, and I can understand someone being like, well, at least I'm going to get $50,000. Like, in this climate, I understand it. I may not like it all the time, but I understand it.
And Nicole may think that she is able to talk to the jury better than Cody. And I just don't think it matters what Cody says. Cody would win. No. But Nicole just might be like, you know what? If it at least gets me a second place and I get the money and I have their ear and I have a shot.
Yeah. As long as Cody doesn't go up there and do like the chicken dance out of fart noises or something at the end, I think Cody, he's going to have a pretty good chance at it. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, so it's putting Nicole in a good spot. She can get rid of Memphis. And then we got to talk about if Cody wins, he may be putting up Enzo as like a, let's pretend we're not working together. If Nicole can get rid of Enzo, then she is there with Christmas, who will take her, and Cody, who will take her. She is in a really sweet spot.
I'm worried for my guy Enzo now, yo. Like, I think this is not setting up to be a particularly good position for him, because it's like he needs to find a way to win the final 4 veto and evict Nicole with it. Then he's got to find a way to win the final HOH and evict Cody with it. That, to me, is one of the few paths that I really feel like Enzo can win this game at this point.
Oh, Enzo. Yeah, no, it's going to be tougher for him. But, I mean, I feel like Enzo can beat Nicole. I feel like Enzo can beat Christmas. He can't beat Cody, I don't think. He'll still get some votes. I still think that if Enzo can explain his game well enough that people believe the stuff that he's done, because he's made moves. Yeah. So if he can really explain those moves and the jury gets it, he might be able to win.
If you are Enzo, how do you feel about Cody saying, oh, you might need to go on the block at Final 4 to make it appear as though we're not that close because the Final 4 veto is really the only thing that matters?
I would be really worried about this because if he had a choice between me and Nicole and he's going to put up me, then I'd be pretty worried that I'm not actually his final 2 at that point. And it's not good, man. I would be really worried. Be like, are you kidding me? Why?
Like, I understand that technically the veto is all that matters and all that other stuff, but it's like, people care about optics, right? You want things to look and feel a certain way. And I think just the idea of being put on the block by, your closest ally in the game, it doesn't always fill you with the warm fuzzies. And if you're Enzo, you need those warm fuzzies, yo, at that Final 4 competition, because it's probably going to be something memory-based, and Nicole has been, feverishly studying. You need her to be a little bit more rattled here.
It's right at the end as well. I would be very nervous if I was Enzo, and Cody was telling me something like this, where he has a choice of another person. So if that person's not going up and you're going up, then you're the third place for him. He's not taking you if he wins that final HOH. So I'm hoping, Enzo's a smart guy, so I'm hoping that he's keeping that in the back of his mind, that if Cody doesn't win the HOH, that maybe this is the time that he clips Cody. And it's possible. I mean, he hasn't really made any big moves, but to be fair, he's only really had power early on this season.
I would be so interested to see what happens if he does that. It would be such a gutsy move. It's a big risk, but you gotta make big moves in Big Brother to win the game.
If he takes out Cody at that point, then he should win the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm so curious to know what his sort of strategy is gonna morph into. But the last thing we have to talk about here is Christmas. Christmas. I get it. You are a fitness person in life. You do not need to walk around the house talking about how you are a comp beast and that you have been in control of your game. Cody Cody, I've always said this is my biggest issue with Cody is that I don't find him entertaining. I found Cody roasting Christmas's competition wins to Nicole to be incredibly entertaining and the most entertaining thing Cody has done all season.
Yeah, and I mean, Christmas has won a bunch of competitions. However, one of them was because Nicole got the puzzle wrong, and the other one was because Davon got an answer wrong, or she buzzed in and got it wrong. So she has won a few other things that were more on her own terms, but just the same.
Yeah.
She's not Memphis, who's won, 15 HOHs,
Yeah.
or Cody, who's won a pile of HOHs and vetoes.
And it's also sort of like one of the other things Christmas is counting as a win is a safety suite, which not everyone was even competing in. And then she's counting the BB basement where,
fair enough. I would include both of them. You have won something.
Yeah, you have won some vetoes. You have won you've done some stuff here, but let's also not pretend that you have won like a huge overwhelm. You are not Cody. And she was trying to justify and talking to herself that her number of wins wasn't that far off of Cody. And it's sort of like, okay, Cody's wins, a lot of them have been really, really legit. Yeah. Including that first HOH that had all those different variables to it.
Yep.
It feels like that HOH, by the way, was 4 months ago. Remember when Memphis wiped out and that was going to be my interpretation of Memphis the entire season?
Yes.
Well, this is where we are now. Hopefully the campaigning actually does happen. I don't want a boring few days of feeds, but if you are Enzo, how much do you push Yo to try to get Christmas out instead of Memphis? If you're Cody, how much do you listen? Give us all of your crazy thoughts and scenarios, and even your not crazy ones as well in the comments. And if you like this video, subscribe, give us a like, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.